All right, let's talk about the balance. So balance damage over time is pretty nice because it does damage and you can spread it or you can make it fake bursty. So it's kind of like it can be a bursty damage dealer, and it can also spread those dots. So let's look at the gear first. The gear is going to be 321 for this example, 321, and your Tempest of Roe is what you're wearing. You want to have that 110 accuracy. The reason you want 110 accuracy, and let's get rid of that stem here. We don't need a stem because most people don't even have the stem anyway. You want to get just various different pieces from the vendor. These are all 320 pieces from the uh, vendor on the fleet, and I've got a modified blaster and a modified lightsaber and a modified lightsaber, and these just gave me the rest of the accuracy. But you can get like a bolt blaster um, chest piece, and you can get like a different uh, gloves or something so that you can actually get what you need to get that accuracy. The reason for the accuracy is you don't want to miss, and it could be critical if you miss one of your big hits. You won't miss on like on regular like veteran items, but if you're on like a champion or a world boss, you might miss. So you want to be able to wear gear that we won't miss. You want to make sure all your attacks hit, and less critical and actually hitting is better. So you want to actually be able to hit. Let's see. Let's look at the tactical was Severo, and let's look at the combat style. This is gonna be the same for both of the two demonstrations I'll give you. It's gonna be the Teachings of Rajivari. You're going to use that Teachings of Rajivari to use Project to clean off all of your damage over time. So you have 3 damage over time abilities. You have the Vanquish, and you have Weaken Mind, and you have Sever Force. Those 3 applied will give you a nice clean break. It'll break them all down, all of them. So I'm actually going to change the order of that just because I can. And the next item that you're going to want is the this one to get you to move. You want to be able to move while you're using Force Serenity. Okay, so more Force Mobility so you can move. The rest, grab whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. Possibly this one so you can have a little bit of health, more health healing. Just read them up. All right. This little dummy here, we want to make this dummy weaker just for the testing purposes. Most people do a testing at 300 and I'm sorry, 6.5 million. I'm going to do it 1 million because there's no need. This will do forever. It'll be 17k forever, so it's not that big a deal to just run this for 17k forever until 6.5 million is over with. So this is not for nightmare operations. This is it might work for master mode flashpoints, but I definitely think you should get better gear for sure. One of the things you're going to notice is this telekinetic throw here. This one, the second telekinetic throw, is going to proc the Vanquish. Don't hit it. Go ahead and use this other telekinetic throw because you need to waste some time somewhere because you need this project to be ready. So it's going to be damage over time, damage over time, damage over time, wipe out all those damage over time. Then you're going to put damage over time on again, use the force speed, and then that Force Serenity will be nice and powerful because that Force Serenity does more damage with a Weakened Mind. So you've reapplied one of your damage over time, you spread that damage over time, you applied another damage over time, and then you've got these again to start over. So at that point you'll get that Vanquish procced. It'll be glowing, boom, and you'll go through it one more time. So if you don't have a adrenal, that's fine. With force potency is not ready, that's fine. Mental alacrity is not ready, that's fine. Force speed will be ready. Okay, so let's go through it. It's going to be about 17k damage final, but I'll give you a little update of the damage that's going on while it's going on when it jumps greatly in the damage per second. So we're going to start out with a Vanquish. So we're starting out at about 15k. That jumps up to 31k because of Teachings of Rajivari. So we've now dropped down below 20k. Now we're at 16k, and that's pretty much where it's going to stay. 16, 17k from here on out. And now your project is ready. And this rotation relies heavily on that project to work. Yeah, we're at 17k, and this is where we're going to stay for the rest of it. And what do you do if you mess up? If you mess up, just go into telekinetic throw. Just get you a telekinetic throw going. No problem. Just go ahead and just run it. And then go through and get your Vanquish procced up. And you'll be good to go. And we're at 17k. Project to finish it off. And finished out. So that was, let's see, the time that elapsed was 58 seconds. So it's not great, but it's not terrible. I forgot to tell you, got to put that mending force armor on. Got to put that bad boy on. Okay, so let's do the healthy dummy modulator again. So when you get better gear, that was 17k, not amazing, but it's enough to get you by on just about any content you need to do that's not a really hard operation. It'll even get you through a story operation. But, I mean, granted, you're only wearing 321 gear. So let's see what it looks like if you use better gear. So we're going to do a swap that gear out. Again, Tempest of Row. Let's look at that gear and accuracy. That accuracy is 109. I'm going to pop that stem. Now we're looking at 110 accuracy, 03. That is, this is how you get there. That's what I'm using currently. I'm using a Gathering Storm and Unmatched Haste and Tempest of Row, and I'm using an Alacrity and an Alacrity. You don't have to use Alacrity golds. You can use Alacrity purples here. So it's the only two augments that I'm using that are gold accuracy. The rest are something else. And then you will need to have, as you saw, there were 2 enhancements in there, and you'll need an enhancement there, and you will need an enhancement there. That is it. So you'll need, somehow, some way, you will need 4 enhancements, 2 augs. You're good to go with everything else into the other thresholds that you're looking for. If you're looking for that Alacrity threshold here, these are not refined where they need to be perfect because I use this gear for many different items. So back at the loadouts again. Combat cell, sorry. And I'm going to change that to Weaken Mind. That's not that important. Teaches Rajivari again, and Force Mobility. Okay, let's look at the rotations. It's going to be exactly the same. I'm going to leave all of this alone, and I think this little dummy's ready as soon as we pop one of that bad boy there. And go ahead and run through it. Let's go. So right now we are at 27k. 23k, and that's pretty much where we're going to stay, is 23k. Project is ready. And the reason I use project is because this really is helpful for PvP and low weak enemies. Like if you're doing, I'm demonstrating on a type of enemy that is much stronger, but generally you smack somebody with that project, they're dead. It's just, nothing can withstand all those. So we finished out with 24k DPS, and that was 42 seconds. So that's all I got for you. Don't forget that bubble. I did forget that bubble, but don't forget your bubble. It is a mending bubble. And just for the sake of just something interesting that I found one time is it's not pertaining to this. It's just an interesting combination. So if you have a Mystic's Ruthless Blade, every once in a while, well, every minute and a half to be exact, you can do a little sneaky quick heal. What you can do is you heal your character for all the damage that the Mystic's Ruthless Blade procs. So Vanquish deals 20% more damage on the initial hit, so that's good, especially if it's instant. And then under a mental alacrity, Vanquish resets the cooldown of Force Serenity and causes the next Force Serenity to activate instantly. So the way this works is if you do a Force Serenity and then a secondary Force Serenity, you can do a lot of damage. So let's just do that in action here. You'll do a lot of damage and a lot of healing. The only problem is it is susceptible to interrupt in PvP, so it may not be the best thing to do. So to get this started, we're going to go ahead and start with a telekinetic throw. We'll do this, 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 this. That healed you. That healed you. So that heals you for close to 60k damage really fast. So in addition does about 160k damage over the course of that action happening. And of course, you've got your bubbles always on. All right, and that is all I got.